in Espanola, New Mexico. There's a lot of people here. Parking lot's full. There's a lot of people here. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be a fun meeting here. Thank you. Thank you.
Please join me in the pledge of allegiance, and then we'll have Councilor Salazar do a invocation.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Loving Father, thank you. On behalf of all who are gathered here today, thank you for your many and abundant blessings. Thank you for life itself, for the river of help we need to feel our calling. Thank you for the ability to be involved in useful work and for the honor of bearing appropriate responsibilities. Thank you as well for the freedom to embrace you or the freedom to reject you. Thank you for loving us even so from your boundless and gracious nature. I pray for our mayor, our mayor pro tem, for the various levels of city officials, and in particular for this assembled council. I'm asking that you graciously grant us the ability to work together in harmony, even when there is honest disagreement. I pray for the agenda set before us today. Please give an assurance of what would please you and what would benefit those who live and work in and around our beloved city of Espanola. It is in your most blessed name I pray. Amen.
Did you let your people know I'm here? You call a Judas and say, hey, Steven's here? No?
Councilor Aaron Salazar,
Present.
Councilor Pedro Valdez, Councilor Felicia Archuleta Toya, Councilor Nanette Rodriguez, Councilor Denise Benavides, Councilor Samuel Adu,
Present.
Councilor Justin Salazar Torres,
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Peggy Sue Martinez. Honored to be here as always. We have a quorum. We have a quorum. I want to thank the members of the governing body for being here this evening. We appreciate your time and your energy and your commitment to the citizens of the city of Espanola. We move on to approval of the agenda.
Madam Mayor Pro Tem, if I make a suggestion, if we can move matters from the mayor on item A, recognition of the Espanola Valley Sun Devil Tiny Tots, if we can move that up before the consent agenda or right after, just so we can get these little ones taken care of and sent home, because they get a little crazy, little football players. So
Absolutely. Do I hear a second with that change? Second. Thank you. We have a, thank you for that.
There's my homie right
We
there.
have a motion from Councilor Torres Salazar, moving item 9
What's up,
to
bro?
item
What's up, bro?
4.5. Second from Councilor Toya. Is there any discussion? Having no discussion, call for roll call vote, please. Councilor Pedro Valdez. Councilor Aaron Salazar.
In favor.
Councilor Nanette Rodriguez. For the motion. Councilor Denise Benavides. Councilor Felicia Archuleta Toya. Councilor Justin Salazar Torres.
in favor.
Councilor Samuel Adu.
In favor.
Mayor Pro Tem Peggy Sue Martinez. Also in favor.
You're the only one that thinks
We'll
that,
move
bro.
on. I guess we'll move right into the recognition of the Espanola Valley Tiny Tots. I'm gonna go ahead and yield to Councilor Torres Salazar so he can tell us all about this team and what they've been able to accomplish for the city of Espanola.
Thank you, Madam Mayor Pro Tem. So with us in the audience, we have head coach Jacob Martinez. We have assistant coach Charles Romero in the back. And then you have team moms Danielle Torres and my wife Desiree, as well as myself as one of the assistant coaches. It was a great season. These little ones went 9-0-1. Nice. But we'll say that one at the end was because of weather, so they had to call the game on us. Otherwise, we'd probably be 10-0. But we'll just let that slide. But we have a bunch of our littles here today. If they all want to come gather up here, that'd be great. If those of you that have your rings, I bet you this governing body would love to see your rings. And just so you guys know, with these rings, they made these rings prior to the season, so it seems like they made them just for us. So.
Hi. Nice to meet you. So the city of Espanola is very proud of each and every one of you, and we're very grateful for your parents that sacrificed all their time and all their energy running you guys back and forth like crazy people. It's really hard for parents to get their schedule straight and to be able to get the time to be able to have you guys be involved in these things. Bitches, we thank you for your time and your energy. You guys are incredible. You are the smallest ambassadors for the city of Espanola. Every time you get on the field, you're representing all this valley and all these people. Isn't that cool? So we have some certificates for each and every one of you. We're going to go ahead and call names. I've dispersed the certificates to each of the city councilors so that they can hand them out. So we're going to take turns. I don't know who has yours or who has his, but somebody up here has them, and we're going to get them handed out to you. Also, the city of Espanola is also giving each of you a swimming voucher so that you can go swimming at one of our swimming pools. Okay? So that would be very nice. Okay, so the first person I'm going to call is going to be Wyatt Aguilar. Who has that? All right, Wyatt. And I'll give you this also. Then the next one we have is Grayson Romero. Here's your swimming pass. You can go swimming. The next one we have is Noah Ortiz. And the next one we have is Ezekiel Sapcut Taylor.
Yeah, Zeke.
All right, here's your swimming pass. Okay, thank you. And then the next one we have is Luke Quintana. Okay, I'm going to give you 2 passes for them. Or did I already do that? I think I did. Then the next one we have is Landon Wilson. And then the next one we have is Silas Talache. Hi, Silas.
And don't let their size fool you guys, because these guys pulled some flags and they were aggressive.
That's awesome. What was the score in the last game?
45.
It was a good game, huh? Wow.
42-28.
Ezekiel Ramirez. And then Dylan Winston. How old are these? Are all of these tiny tots? Like 4 and 5? And then the next one is Julian Lovato. I just have knowledge like that. Good, brilliant. Good job. Okay, and then the next one we have is Isariah Montoya. And then the next one we have is
I think you would
Xavier
have, bro.
Torres.
I think you would have, bro.
Here you go, Xavier. And then the next one we have is Dante Caballero. Here, Dante. Good job. Okay, and then the next one we have is Cameron Martinez. Here you go. And then the next one we have is Xavier Gallegos. I think we should all take an opportunity to take a
They do, bro. They do.
Okay.
A lot of people are losing their shit, bro. A lot of people are. Just wait, bro. This is just the beginning, bro. This is just the beginning, guys. There's more coming. There's more coming. They're trying to get the little ones out before the fireworks come, bro.
One, two, three. Yay!
Madam Mayor Pro Tem, if I may, thank you, Tiny Tots, for coming tonight. We just want to recognize you guys a little bit. This governing body, what this valley is made of, and thank you so much. Good night.
Oye, me anda bien, está caro. I'm being in town. I joined you, Jay.
I want to thank the staff, Esperanza and Sally, for your time and energy and effort in creating those certificates for these kids. The art that was on there was created by Esperanza. She took a lot of time and energy to understand that these are little kids, and the certificates were really made in a way that little kids could understand the football and all that other stuff and why we were recognizing them. So just thank you, Esperanza, for what you do, beyond everything else that you do. We know that you are
What is he doing here, bro? Thought he was supposed to be on patrol.
So the next item on the agenda is the consent agenda for the May 2024 City Council minutes. Do I hear a motion for approval?
We got company, James. Look, we got company, bro.
Is that, ready to do our minutes?
Look, we got our favorite person.
Is that somebody online?
No, everyone is muted.
Huh. So we have a motion for approval on consent agenda from Councilor Aaron Salazar, a second from Councilor Pedro Valdez. Consent agenda requires no discussion unless there's something that you pull out. If everyone is in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries, unanimous vote. We have minutes for May the 14th, 2024. We'll move on to public comments. Do we have anybody signed up for public comment?
Bethany Brown. And again, just to remind you, we have 2 minutes.
2 minutes for public comment at this
When are you
place.
starting my timer? Because I may go over. Okay. I'm disappointed in some people in this council. When I say my comments, they are aimed at the public, except for today. Peggy, it's been 2 years that you have been working on animal laws. I think that's been long enough. Those of us who are caring for feral colonies are waiting for the ordinance to be turned over. We are illegally feeding our colonies and doing trapping, spay, and neuter. Find me all you want. I've got a bank account. Why did it take Denise and I a day to rewrite what's taken you 2 years? Also, at the encampment meeting, you guys asked for positive feedback. Those of us that gave you positive feedback have not received phone calls asking us for help, asking us if we were willing to still follow through with what we had. I have plenty of people in NA, AA, and CA who are more than willing to send books, pamphlets, and ways to start meetings. I need a facility to start these meetings. People may not be able to get clean and sober, but planting a seed, even having them come to sit in a meeting and listen to something from the big book or from the Narcotics Anonymous book, might plant a little seed that maybe a year from now, 6 months from now, they might get clean and sober. Why are we not doing anything that was suggested? I have people in Akron, Ohio who are more than willing to send us whatever we needed. I am waiting on a phone call. Is there a reason why we are leaving people on the streets homeless with no help? No meetings, no nothing, even a sponsor for them to call
Thank you,
if
Bethany.
they want to get clean and sober. This is my last meeting because I realized that me speaking
Thank you,
is
Bethany.
nowhere with you guys.
Thank you, Bethany, for your comments.
Ivan?
Hi. It does work, because I have 32 years of sobriety and I celebrate in March.
Amen.
And the program does work. Anyways, hi, city, the city, I said this before, this is a 91 city ordinance. This gotta change. It's over, what, 31 years? You guys haven't changed this? City ordinance, is 31 years old. It's time to change it within a couple months, man, because this is getting old. It's taking me about, it's having the poly carts on the sidewalk, which is illegal, having them on the sidewalk because it's a public access for the people. It's got to be in front of in the street, in front of the curb. That's where it's got to be at for the trucks and grab them a lot easier. And for us, it's a lot safer because, you know, going over those little curbs, it's a hassle. It's a safety issue as well, which it talks about in here. I want to say also in LA, California, there's 88 cities in LA County. And I know someone's gonna say something about, oh, it's a city thing here, a county. But at the residential areas, start at the residential areas. Have them put their poly carts in the street in front of the curb. It's a lot easier for us to grab. What else I was gonna say is, oh, and if you can, just hire at least one more code enforcement, so it can help us as well. And I guess that's all I gotta say. Thank you very much. And really, I want to vote for people that want to do their job, because I wrote it and I don't know how many seconds I have, but I don't want to vote for people just for who they are. I want to vote for people that know what they're doing. So please really take this consideration. 1991 was this 31 years ago. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ivan. Stephen?
I've been gone for a while. Okay. I just have a question. Why didn't you fire that piece of shit that just walked out? Eric, how come you guys haven't fired him? He's a representation for the city of Espanola. For it to come out on the Rio Grande Sun front page where he threatened Dino Chavarria to beat the shit out of him. On the paper it came out. That's the people we have. That's who you are, all of you guys, because you guys back this person up. You guys don't do anything. Yes, the mayor has the right to fire him or whatever, but each one of you guys have a word in it to have him resign. Well, because you guys play politics and you guys do this bullshit, this guy is fucking worthless. Worthless to the city of Espanola, and you guys condemn that behavior. Each and every one of you condemn that behavior. That's stupid. You, Peggy, you're so offended of what's going on social media. Next time you have anything to say about me behind my back, be a woman and say it to my face. Okay? I don't need people to tell me what you're saying or whatever's going on. Say it to my face. The same thing with Eric, the same thing with John. You have private meetings. You ain't gotta lie. You have private meetings. You don't need to lie that you don't have them. You guys go eat at restaurants. You guys go communicate and talk and stuff. You can deny it all you want, bro. You can shake your head all you want. That's the truth. You say social media that we're lying, that I'm lying about stuff. It's not lying, it's factual information. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong that I'm lying, that I'm putting misinformation out there on social media. And we'll see what goes on. And John Ramon, that guy too, the shit that's going on at Hemis, what he's done to the city here with an employee of sexual harassment, he's still here. You guys don't speak up. You guys are just bowing down to this kid. You guys are just bowing down to him. With that being said, fuck you, Eric, fuck you, Peggy, and fuck you, John.
Montoya?
Just in time for 2 minutes.
Good evening, everybody. Mayor Pro Tem, councilors, CM. I decided to sign up for public comment tonight because basically this is one of the only times that we have a chance to express some of these things in front of everybody. I'm only going to talk about one thing in particular tonight because it was rather frustrating to me when I heard about it. We had something that was on the agenda, or was supposed to be on the agenda for this evening, as well as last council meeting, and both times it got pulled off. I'm not sure if you guys are aware of it, or if you're not, but I just want to make it clear to you guys that everybody in the fire department, the chiefs, myself, the lieutenants, and each and every firefighter is here for the entire community. We're here to serve, we're here to provide the best service that we possibly can. But with the hurdles that we have to go over that are completely unnecessary, are just making everything that much more difficult. And what I'm talking about is just this minute thing of trying to rotate our new equipment from our old equipment and so on and so forth. And there's been they found a problem with it, apparently. And instead of communicating on how to correct it, it just gets pulled off of the agenda and thrown to the side. So we have to backtrack, redo everything that we've already done, the work that we've already completed and taken the time to do so, have to do it all over again. So I don't know about you guys, but I think we're all in agreement that doing one thing correct the first time, even if it takes a little bit longer, is more proactive than it is having to repeat your work over and over and over again. And that's what it seems like we have to do. And I'm only bringing up one issue tonight, but I think you guys are aware of several that we've run into basically a concrete wall of us trying to complete these issues and being totally shut down. And instead of having a little bit of feedback on how to correct them and get them through, this is what we find. Thank you.
Hell yeah, bro. Let that frustration out.
I'm gonna move on to, is that it? Thank you. Thank you all for your public comments. We'll move on to business with visitors. Mr. Chris Archuleta, he was here at the last meeting, had some concerns about the veterans wall. Sort of ran out of time, so we put him on an agenda to bring his concerns to the entire governing body. Welcome, Mr. Archuleta.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem, City Manager, and fellow councilors. Thank you for inviting me back again to address these issues. Before you, I left a list of my issues that are plaguing the memorial wall. So for a year, the internet and the landline are still down in my office. I know the IT guy was there a while back, so any updates on that would be greatly appreciated. I do have to use my mobile hotspot when veterans or their families come in to access the internet to download any specific forms that I may need for them. So any update on that would be greatly appreciated. Item number 2, a week after Veterans Day, the
Just wait for
rope
public
on the Coast Guard flag cut. So
counselor comments.
looking for
Wait
any
counselor
updates
comments.
on ropes. If the city's gonna be able to purchase us ropes or
Please hit that like
what's
button.
gonna happen
Please hit
there.
that like button.
Item number 4, patrols at night. I know the chief is here. How are the patrols going at night, chief? Is there any updates?
You got that right, James.
Chief, you wanna address that, Chief?
Am I able to then, or?
Sure.
We've increased our
Come to
patrols.
the microphone so you can hear.
For the record.
Madam Pro Tem, governing body, we've heeded to the statements made by Mr. Archuleta at the last city council meeting. We have increased our patrols. He and I are recently working on an incident where he has photos of something that occurred. We are going to immediately address that. He has a photo of a vehicle that's been involved in some activity, and we're doing our best now that summer's coming along. We talked last time, hopefully with the number of officers that we now have, we're able to do a better job of assigning them to specific areas. The only thing that we're not able to control, as you can see, we had an officer that came in tonight that was just coming in. I always ask officers to come in and see how the governing body works. He had to leave quickly for a call that required immediate access. But we are working, we will work with Mr. Archuleta throughout whatever's going on. So yes, and we have increased those patrols, and we're currently working on one with him.
Thank you. I think it's very important concerning what happened at the bond house yesterday and some of the other issues that have been happening at the convento and the galleria. Also, the issues that Mr. Archuleta has brought to our attention. I really feel like this area has been a recent target, and it seems like it's getting a little bit more activity in that area, and I feel like it would benefit from some police. So I appreciate what your department is doing with that. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam.
Go ahead, Mr. Archuleta.
Thank you, Chief, for that update. Activity has slowed down quite a bit. We're not finding any trash or any of that anymore. I did find some food waste earlier today, but that's okay. We will catch them. We will catch them. On the camera system, I know I talked to Jeff Sargent about installing a camera system there at the memorial wall. Will I be able to have access to that camera system? That way, in case I do see a questionable act of vandalism, I may be able to take that picture or video to the police station and file a report.
Well, just one, the first item and then also that one. The first item is the ropes are being purchased by Michael Adams, and we just need to know where to get the two flags that we've been missing.
I have those two flags.
Those two flags, okay.
Yes.
And we're also ordering the flags for the front of the convento, but we're getting the ropes. And the second issue is the cameras, we're really not supposed to know where they're at when they place those police cameras. So what we can do is we can, if there's something that's going on, and we have a great system with the license plate. Getting people with license plate with stolen vehicles are reported and how we get those through. But then what we can do probably is the 911 could probably get the pictures for you, but having the access to the cameras we can't do. And that will probably be an issue for Mr. Rednick as well.
One of the things that 911 has recently established is they just purchased a program that has a panic system, so that if you're in that area and you feel that there's a need for police activity quickly, you'll have access to that panic button in that area, and then you guys will have one at the convento.
Evidence.
There'll be one at Lucero Center, there'll be one at City Hall, there'll be one in this chambers, there'll be one. There's gonna be over 100 panic buttons that are gonna spread out throughout Rio Arriba and the city of Espanola, and 911 has bought the programming that goes directly to 911. So that will make a police response a lot quicker. You know what I mean? So I really feel like that's coming. That should be happening like within the next 30 days. So we'll look forward to that. Anything else, Mr. Archuleta?
On that note, the 8 benches that are around the flagpoles, I just recently found out that they have lights in them. So if we can get an electrician out there to take a look and possibly fix those lights, it would greatly increase the light in that area because it is kind of dark at night. Is there?
I think there's also a plan to elevate the lighting over there too, correct?
And Madam Mayor Pro Tem Councilors, Mr. Archuleta, you know we have that $60,000 from Senator Jaramillo. So when you're ready to sit down and we can discuss how we want to use that, what the veterans want, what you guys want to do to utilize that money. We're willing, you know, we're the business wage on it, Madam Mayor Pro Tem. So whatever you feel is the best way to spend that money, Mr. Archuleta, let's make it. And then, you know, we could go for some more funding. I believe Mike is working on getting you more funding as well.
Okay, sure. We can set up a meeting and we can discuss that money. So, can I get a clarification on that? Is it 60,000 or 30,000? Because the email that I got from Senator Jaramillo said $30,000.
That was this session, and there's a previous number, 30.
Got it.
a total of 60,000.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
So I also want to recognize the water department. Recently, we had a notification from Mr. Archuleta that there was no water in one of the pipes over there for reasons of watering the landscape, and there was a lot of issue. The water department went out there and they had a lot of trouble locating the main and getting that system to be functioning, but lo and behold, they made it work. So we're very grateful to the water department and the staff that worked so hard to find that pipe and make sure that you guys have water down there. So that's a plus. We're moving in the right direction. It's not perfect. We still continue to work together. When we hear complaints, we have to address them and we have to look at ways.
James, look at your favorite
with
person,
your
bro.
eyes out there, Mr. Archuleta, protecting that wall and giving it your heart. We're nothing. I also want to let you know that we want to recognize the gentleman that you recognize on Memorial Day in this chamber. So I want to work with you on that and getting that together so that we can recognize his efforts and volunteerism.
Okay.
Veterans on the road, okay?
Sure thing.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Archuleta. Appreciate your time and your energy and your efforts.
And the last item, so I've been researching this online, and there's pole companies located out in Albuquerque that specialize in pole stucco. So maybe would it be possible that the city can bring them down here to look at possibly stuccoing our reflective pole and possibly the large fountains? I think that it would look outstanding. It would bring that place, lively. It would make it much more livelier, I should say.
Mr. Lujan, can you look at a scope of work for what he's talking about, turning the refinish of the pool and the
And I know I discussed with the commander last time I was out there, the Eternal Flame. And getting some funding for that, so I don't know, the commander and I discussed that we could possibly create a separate area for that. But absolutely, let's get that, let's see if we can get everything done by Veterans Day, get it done by the end of the summer. But also what I like to look at too is I know Councilor Valdez has been looking at this with the banners.
Yes.
Calls for the veterans.
He and I have been talking about that, so, and I've been in contact with the people that do that stuff as well too, so.
Gilbert Romero from Santa Fe, right? And I think he's living now in Espanola.
Yes, I know Gilbert, I know him.
From the VFW in Santa Fe.
Yes, that's where I know him
He's
from.
living in Espanola now, I'm not sure.
I'm not exactly sure where he's leaving, but.
That's a great idea, you guys. I want to move forward on that idea.
They can't get no phone,
We
no
can definitely
internet,
make it
no
happen
nada.
because Espanola and surrounding communities have a rich history of veterans in this area, so we'll get that going. People absolutely love the fact that our reflecting pole and the large fountain was going for Memorial Day. They absolutely love it. They eat it up big time.
We love to have it on all the time. Unfortunately, it was sabotaged. Somebody dumped a bunch of soap in there and created a big mess for the city of Espanola.
Yes, I saw.
So they had to turn it down and close it down, and it's so unfortunate, it's something so beautiful and so simple. And the staff worked so hard at making sure that it was up on Memorial Day, and it didn't last clean for no more than a week after that. So we just need to work on community pride and making sure that we instill that in the youth and make sure that people that are around public properties respect them.
Yes, absolutely. That's all I have for this. I do want to personally thank all the council members that came out in April to assist me with the cutting of the weeds. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you for doing that, for coming out and helping. I also like to thank the Public Works Department. They fixed that hydrant, and now it's making my job a lot easier to water the flowers, and now I can actually reach all the way to the other end of the wall to water the rose bushes. And they look absolutely beautiful this year, by the way.
Good job.
If you get a chance, go out there and check out the area. We got a lot of compliments for Memorial Day on the way it looks. Also, thank you to Espanola Fire. I know you guys were in here that came out as well to help clean up the rest of the weeds. We're greatly appreciative on that too, so thank you. Everybody that assisted that day, thank you from the bottom of my heart. We greatly appreciate it.
we're honored to help you.
Council members, that's all I have for this evening. Thank you for your time. Let's all work together. Let's have proper communication. Let's get things done at this memorial wall. We can and we will have the most beautiful memorial wall here in the state. Thank you.
Awesome. This last Sunday was, there was an event that was sponsored by Joanne Lolo and the Espanola Lowrider Association. They asked for a proclamation. I just wanted to share it with all of you so that you're all in tune with what was happening there. We'll go into a little bit of what went down afterward, but Joanne and Lolo, could you guys please come up to be recognized? So the city official proclamation of the city of Espanola, New Mexico, USA, recognizing the Espanola Lowrider Association for their efforts in providing lowrider culture in the Espanola Valley. Ms. Quintana, please come up with him. Whereas the beautiful Espanola Valley is very proud of its lowriders, customs of its lowriders and population. Whereas the customization and finishes of each vehicle tell a story of artistry, faith, and pride, and tradition of connection to the heritage of Espanola. And whereas the city of Espanola is known as the lowrider capital of the world. And whereas the Lowrider Association has established themselves as a lowrider enthusiast, maintaining the tradition and culture in our community. And whereas the Lowrider Association has shown themselves to be active participants in the Espanola Valley at every level, supporting children, students, education, while advocating for the most in need in our community. And whereas the Lowrider Association believes that building of lowriders is a part of our culture that brings people together in sharing their art, culture, fellowship, and love for community. And whereas the Lowrider Association, in collaboration with the New Mexico Economic Development Department, Mike Young from Creative Startups, Vital Spaces, the Pole Cultural Center, the San Gabriel Historical Society at the Bond House Museum, with sponsorship from the city of Espanola, created an interactive lowrider building event in the Espanola Valley, featuring Ana Medina sanding process, Ed Fields photography, Garcia Tires and Mounting, Gene Ortiz hot wheel painting and package design, Janet Quintana photography, Justin Jaramillo mural spray painting and design, Lolo Medina scuffing and sanding, Marisol Medina art pages and face painting. Whereas the Espanola Lowrider Association wishes to recognize Rose B. Simpson, the owner and creator of Maria, a car, not a piece of pottery, as a keynote speaker, along with Mike Young from Creative Startups and Lolo and Joan Medina for their efforts and leadership in bringing this event to the community. Therefore, be it resolved, the city of Espanola, also known as the lowrider capital of the world, that I, John Ramon Vigil, Mayor of the City of Espanola, together with the City Council, each and every one of you, do by here recognize the contributions to the community made by the Lowrider Association, and hereby proclaim June the 9th, 2024 as Lowrider Association Day, signed by myself on behalf of John Ramon Vigil, because he is absent. I just want to say, you guys are awesome. Thank you for the event. Unfortunately, as you all know, there was a turn of events that happened afterwards, and I'm going to use this time to ask the community to please come together in replacing this young man's bicycle or recovering it. Janet Quintana's grandson, what's his name? Ernesto Garcia graciously loaned his lowrider bike to the museum for the show. It was really an awesome display, the way that he set it up. We all had an opportunity to walk through the museum and take a look at all the hard work that he put into that bike. And honestly, it was probably the highlight of the show. It was really something to behold. And everybody that walked into the show was spent at least 5-10 minutes looking at that bicycle. Unfortunately, that bicycle was stolen from the Bond House We're not sure exactly when, but I'm hopeful that this community will rally behind this group to either recover the bicycle or to replace the bicycle. I just think that it's horrible that that happened. This kid has a heart and soul in his life, and it's so wrong what happened and how it was taken from him. But we're resilient people, and we will handle this situation, and we will overcome this, and we're hopeful that by God that bike will be returned, and if not returned, replaced in every single way. Okay. I just want to thank you guys personally for the job that you do in Espanola. Every event that I turn around at and every single situation that is happening there, you guys are doing something positive for the community. So you guys are role models to look up to. I'm so grateful to be involved with you at any level, and I appreciate everything that you guys do. The reason that they didn't get a proclamation tonight is because they already got it at the event. So thank you guys again.
So I just want to thank all of you guys. I know it takes a team, and we are a team. You guys, the city council, the fire department, the police department, our community, the lowrider community, classic community, we're all a team. So as hard as we work together, it makes this valley so beautiful, and that's why I keep on going, and I just ask the Lord for strength for all of us. And I thank every single one of you for supporting us.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
We're honored.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, we have, Jeanette, did you want to say anything about the bicycle?
I just want to say,
Move the mic towards yourself.
just want to say that my grandson is very heartbroken. He's put a lot of hard work in there. And his birthday is now the 19th of June. And his gift was supposed to be to get his bike painted. So that's just what hurts me for him. I said, I told him, a bike is just a bike, that can be replaced, you know, but it's all the hard work and everything that goes into it. And then he was so happy the day he knew that it was gonna be displayed. He felt so proud that he was gonna be helping all the kids of Espanola, which now he feels like they all got let down by this. Because he saw how happy they all were that day. You know, they kept asking him questions about his bike, about like how expensive all the parts are, and he's like, yes, they are. He says,
because she's texting on her phone and I'm zooming in
like his Christmas presents, like his birthday presents, whatever. He did good in school, he got a part for his bike.
That's why.
No,
That's why he's looking at me like that.
gone. Just like that. Somebody that had no remorse, that he's just a kid.
We're very sorry that this has happened.
Like I said, the good thing is I instill in him that possessions are just possessions, you know, like just thank God nobody got hurt over it or anything like that, you know, just, but it's sad that that's happening. And a lot of people now, because of Facebook, a lot of people have told me that I'm not familiar with the West Side or anything like that, but a lot of people say, well, we've gotten broken into, and there's a lot of people here, and there's a lot of people there, and I said, I don't know what to tell you, but just watch out for your own neighbors, I guess, and do the best you can, you know.
I think that's the whole thing, is that there is crimes of opportunity.
Yes.
That happen in every community. This situation is really sad because it does affect a youth, especially a youth that is doing something with pride and time. And that time that he put into that life.
There she goes crying again. There she goes crying again.
And that's really sad that nobody can take back. But like I said, we'll end on a positive note with a promise that if that bike is not recovered, it will be replaced. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Could I say something?
Absolutely.
Okay, for me and for us, We always know that things take place, in a lot of ways like this. But the way I look at it is that what the enemy does for wrong, the Lord does for good. When we push forward, He makes us wiser, He makes us stronger, and He makes us brighter. So we push forward no matter what. And I know that what takes place, we know that the youth will even come to hand even stronger as well. So that's all I want to say. Thank you guys, and we appreciate everything.
So we are finished with the business with visitors. We'll go on to council comments.
Here we go, here we go.
Hold on. Jay, did you have something?
Madam Mayor, if I may interrupt briefly, point of order, I would like to ask the chair to enforce provision of the open meetings ordinance that prohibits the recording of individuals who are not addressing the council without their express consent. Mr. Lund has been recording off and on the members of the staff to my right without their consent. I'd like you to enforce this to prohibit that recording.
Sorry, Mr. Lona. Apparently that's an issue. You will not be able to record anybody unless you have consent.
In the state of New Mexico, it's a one-party state.
It's a one-party state. If there's two people in a room, not in a full room, you don't have the authority to record everybody in here.
You're public servants.
I am. You can record me,
They're public servants as well.
but if there are other people that are addressing that don't get permission, you cannot record them in this chambers anymore.
I could.
No, you will not.
We'll take it.
You're out of order, sir. We're gonna go on to, counselor comments. Anybody? Counselor Ledoux?
Yes, I want to thank everyone who reached out to me after the last meeting about the homelessness issue. I had a lot of people come with some ideas and from all over the world. I was very touched to see that former counselor J.R. Trujillo gave me a pretty comprehensive plan that I thought was interesting. I haven't had a chance to really deep dive into it. One of my former coworkers from Hawaii contacted me about some of the programs that he has with the Waikiki Business District in Honolulu. The city of Honolulu and the Waikiki Business District recently came up together with a plan on how to employ a lot of the homeless in their community, as well as recently incarcerated people. It's actually a really innovative idea, and it's resulted in over 32 homeless and incarcerated folks finding full-time employment, and it also helped them address some of the issues with cleanliness of parks that in the more rural areas of Waikiki that they were having difficulty keeping clean. It's called the Aloha Ambassadors Program, and I'm in conversations with him. The way they fund it, it's probably too prohibitively expensive for the city to take on this issue, but I've contacted Rob Vigil at Pathways Village to see if they can emulate some of those ideas, and I'm trying to work to put them in touch together. The time zone difference is making it a little difficult. Hawaii is about 7 hours ahead of where we are, so, but I'm working on that with them. That recently all came together after a lot of people online saw some of the struggles that we had. I do want to address the Searchlight article. I do think that some of the people who were criticized for being against, just being frustrated, were unfairly painted. It's hard. Sometimes people say things that they don't necessarily mean, but they're just frustrated about the situation. I don't think anyone in the city of Espanola is truly anti-homeless. I think that they're just really concerned about their community and about their safety. So I just wish that, the Searchlight folks would have just taken time to find people who were more middle ground about this issue instead of playing the extremes off each other for the article. I think that there's a lot of people who are like me who think that, there needed to be a ramp down because the current location was just not fit, but also that we needed to find them resources. and things to improve their lives. And I think striving for that middle ground is the only way out of this issue, because when I was talking to Rob, it's just going to get worse, because now there's an encampment that's starting up behind Eagle Village. It just started forming, and it's going to be something that we have to address, because pretty soon we may have a ton of little encampments all over the city because we failed to really provide a plan for this existing one. As for crime in general, there's just been a recent rise. I've had lots of constituents reach out in Fairview, and I'm really concerned about what happened at Walgreens and what's been happening around the Fairview area. It just seems that crime continues to increase in that area. I have elderly family members who live in that area. I'm just really concerned about property crime and just general crime in that area that's been increasing for about 10 years. And I hope we can figure out some way to do this. I hope I can have a discussion with the chief about ways that we can try to clamp down on that area, because the residents there have been vocal about it for a very long time, as well as the businesses. So I hope we can try to address that. And as always, I like to remind people that a lot of this crime, the root issue is the drug problem. And we need to address the drug problem. And part of it is gonna come from not just the city council, but all of you guys. If you know drug dealers, report them. They're killing our community. I know that it's hard to be the one to make that decision to report those people, and that you may know them and grown up with them. But those drugs are killing us. Every day, it just seems someone I know is being impacted by the opioid and now meth epidemic in the city of Espanola and surrounding areas. We need to address this issue. We need to come together, and we need to start holding it accountable. I really hope we can touch base with the DEA to take this issue more seriously here. I know that there's been restrictions on federal prosecutions in the last couple of years that have made it more difficult.
I'll keep it professional.
But that's something that we need to address. I'm also, we need to take public safety to the utmost importance in this council. I'm saddened to hear about the fire agenda item not being placed on here. I don't know what happened there, but I hope we can be more communicative about those kind of issues, because every week that goes by, they may lose the chance or opportunity to actually execute grants or get those monies in place or start on these projects. The longer these projects are delayed, the more our people are at risk. And if we can get things done, we need to get them done. And I also want to thank the police officers for all their hard work this week. They've been through hell this week, and they deserve all the respect in the world. And please pray for them. This is a very hard time for them, and they're overworked. And I feel for them. I was praying when I heard what happened at Walgreens, and I let the chief know. So please keep them in your heart and minds. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ladue. You make some viable points with looking for solutions. I love that idea of reaching out to other communities without having to reinvent the wheel. I think that there are communities that are seeing some success with different situations. My recommendation to you is to reach out to the city manager. Please have a meeting with him about what your vision is for that. I really feel like at this point, the city has hired a social worker. Could you touch base a little bit on that?
She's right here.
Okay, we'll just wait for that then. So I think we've made one step ahead with that situation. Your comments are, I like that you're coming with some type of a solution. That's very important. So I really, really like that. Anybody else have anything? Councilor Denise Benavides.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. I first want to thank the entire council for reaching out to me. I had a lot of crazy things happening personally in my life in the several meetings, and I want to just thank all my fellow councilors for being there for me during such a difficult time.
Absolutely. I think that the human side of this job sometimes gets thrown to the wayside with all the craziness that's happening. But at the end of the day, family is the most important thing, Denise. And no matter what is happening with the city, family comes first. And you take the time that you need, and I need you to feel supported in every single way moving forward from this situation. And if there's anything that we can do for you as a whole, as a council, I guarantee that every single person here feels the same way that I do in supporting you. So I want you to feel that.
Thank you. My fire department, I can't thank you. I love you guys for coming to my aid. I needed them so badly. Alex was tremendous. Janet just helped me in a difficult time. And Rick,
You guys are amazing in the work that you do every day.
I can't say enough about our public safety and everybody that reached out, everybody that showed up to help me. I can't thank any of you enough. My whole heart. I love you guys. While Jody and Lola were here, I wanted to mention a project that my team at Santa Fe County is working on. We're working on a guide that's gonna map out bike trails. It's gonna come all the way through Chimayo, all the way down into Espanola. We're putting icons in areas that we feel are very important for tourists. I want you to know the icon is going to be a lowrider bike when it comes into our area. That's what I've requested, that's what it's gonna be. We're going to feature the best of Espanola that we can. And I think this guide is gonna go to every tourist that comes into New Mexico that wants to tour every area. And I think it's about time that they tour the beautiful areas that come into Espanola and they make up our beautiful community. There's such a stigma here. We need to do what we can to get rid of that. So I'm excited for the guide to come out. As soon as we have it, I'll share it with the entire council so you all can see it. But I'm so happy that we're gonna use a lowrider bike. We've reached out to Jago. I think we've reached out to Cruz as well. We're going to have them help us in design. And so that's coming. So I'm really proud to feature some of our area. And we're gonna feature as much as we can of the entire Chimayo area, all the way into northern Espanola. Because it's what we need to do.
That bike could be featured, could it be modeled after his bike?
Absolutely, Pat.
Because we have a lot of pictures before it was stolen, so let's get those to you as soon as possible.
Get it to me, I will get it to the
Can you do
designer.
that for me, please?
Yes, awesome, we can. The other thing I wanted to talk a little bit about is the encampment. I've been working a lot with city manager, of course, and others. I spoke to Senator Jaramillo today. We were supposed to have a meeting with the Coalition to End Homelessness today and part of Santa Fe County. Santa Fe County's Community Services Division has shown interest in assisting us with more than one thing, Mayor Pro Tem partnerships. They have the abilities we do not have here. They have the services we do not have here. But in partnering with those services, I believe we can bring them to Espanola. They have mobile services that will come here. I think it's worth a discussion. I'm gonna set up that meeting. I've already talked to the city manager about it. Senator Jaramillo wants to get involved as well as the Coalition to End Homelessness to see how they can further provide the services that these individuals need. There is no quick answer. I believe it can be done. There are some models out there that have proven to work. Senator Jaramillo and I spoke about the one today that is in Las Cruces. He has seen it, he loves it. Krista Zamcoram is ready to assist us with what we can. If we need a consultant that is an expert in this area, and Quorum has spoken about picking up that cost for us in the form of, we all know Jen Lopez Project Moxie. You know, that's another idea that we can look at.
Because Eric and I just had a conversation. Yes. Exactly the model that you're talking about.
Yes, 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 yes. And there is an area that I think would be a great area, Mayor Pro Tem, I think city manager discussed it with you. I have discussed that particular area with Santa Fe County in hopes that they would work together with us in getting that area, if it's a possibility, up and running.
I talked to Dina at Pathway Shelter about the possibility of moving that encampment there, about keeping her facility right now as emergency shelter services, and about keeping their administrative offices at that facility and possibly moving the rest of what they do to that particular area. I think it's a great area. It's a matter of getting a hold of and speaking to the owners, which we are going to move forward to try to do. Senator Jaramillo is really interested in assisting how he can with what he can. He has the governor's ear, so that's another plus for us here. So, you know, whoever wants to assist with that, we're happy to have, you know, whoever wants to join in on meetings to talk solutions. I think we have some good solutions. It's just a matter of working together now, providing those services. That location has several buildings that are empty. I would love to have services there. Some of the ones that are already assisting today, some of the case management from Mariba County, some of the individuals that are already there assisting can be located at that facility, along with individuals that can assist with drug treatment and rehabilitation. Partnering with a lot of the individuals that Santa Fe County already works with, I think is a plus. The Connect, La Sala, Engage is another one that would assist our police officers and our firefighters when they come across individuals. The mobile services piece of this, I think, would be huge for both the fire department, the police department. I think that the programs that they have can be really useful to us if we can just get, you know, the partnerships off the ground.
Really appreciate you bridging those services to this community. Anything that we can do to benefit that group and to help these people see themselves in a different state. Like Bethany said, you know, providing them hope, even if it's not the hope, if they're not ready for that hope right now, but providing them with the hope that maybe down the road they'll prepare themselves for some major change in their lives. I do agree with what Councilor Badu said concerning that. I don't think anybody really dislikes the homeless. I think they concern themselves with their own safety and well-being, as rightfully so, and they should, you know. So I feel like we are making a little bit of stride in the right direction. I love the conversation that you're having. I love what Sam is doing. Anybody else have any comments? Oh, let me recognize Justin. He's been on hold online. Justin Torres Salazar.
Thank you, Madam Mayor Pro Tem. And just a question regarding the foundation for the burn building that the firefighters that we had out for bid and whatnot. Wondering where we're at with that, where that stands, and the city manager can address that during his report. But just want to put that on his radar. Thank you so much.
So, anybody else have anything?
The public safety meeting that was scheduled for June 1st is now going to be June 22nd, 10 a.m. to 12 noon. It will be at the La Jolla Fire Station. Councilor Benavides and myself, this is our meeting. We're the ones leading it. We'll be the one moderating. We do have all of our public safety officials that have graciously offered their time, and they will be there to answer the questions. So I just wanted to make that publicly known, that we will be there, and it is our
James, if you're still in
city
here,
councilors. It's our
let
event.
Zach Cook, that Charles Reddick, is the one that made that roll up, bro.
Sure, Councilor Benavides.
One more thing I forgot to mention, Mayor Pro Tem, I'm currently working on 2 developments. We're going to schedule a meeting here soon with City Manager, with Elijah from Public Works, with all the individuals, Mayor Pro Tem yourself, Councilor Toya, anybody else who wants to be involved. The main one that we want to discuss is the one in McCurdy with the charter school and the church there. I met with homeowners. I asked them to go back to the drawing board and redo all the plans. Too many small homes, too many townhomes, too much of what Espanola doesn't need. And so they're working on the new plans. They're working on funding to completely redo all the infrastructure and pay for it. So I will schedule that meeting as soon as I can so that we can meet with HomeWise and We the City before we meet with the school again, so that we can decide if what has been put together is what we think this community needs and deserves. There's a beautiful park in the plans, there's a lot of things in there that I think would work for us, but what they originally had did not work for us. It was just not what the community and the area needs and deserves. So we'll be working on that, and the development, in addition to that, is further up the street. We've talked about that one before. Summit Housing is moving forward with that particular project, so I want to make sure the city is involved, because we want to make sure that anything that goes there is what fits in our community, right? We don't want something that's not going to fit in our community. We want to make sure that anything that we put out there is beautiful. I know city manager reached out to me that the Atento family, who owns 20 plus acres in that same area, is interested in also putting something of beauty there, and we're thinking maybe we can put a huge, beautiful subdivision or something, whatever we think, you know, the city might need there. So fellow councilors, whoever wants to join me, feel free. Councilor Toya, definitely.
Thank you guys for popping in. I appreciate it. Thank you guys.
Invite, I think, Ernest, yes.
Thank you guys for coming in.
Thank you again, Councilor Denise. Housing initiatives have been a priority of this council for a long time, and it's something that we have failed to get off the ground. So anything that we can do to build new homes in Espanola is greatly appreciated. It's one of those things that if you build new homes, your economic side just grows on its own. So the businesses recognize growth like that, they just naturally come to the area, so it'll be something good for everybody.
I think we need to move forward with the ordinance we have started working on your protest.
I agree.
I think one of the things that we need to consider when we work on ordinances, I'm currently working on one in Santa Fe County, is that anytime we bring developers in here, we're not ever gonna solve this homeless problem unless we instruct those developers to put aside certain units for those homeless individuals. Those homeless individuals, we could do what we call a lottery and see who gets those, but every time there's a development, depending, yes, however many, you know, we decide, we need to start, that's the only way we're gonna take care of this homeless population. And we also need to have these developments provide services. And that's one of the things that, especially the development we're working on with Housing Summit, is a tax credit. So that particular one can have services, although the facility across the street that's on La Jolla, that's a senior facility, the TRC Housing Authority, they now have LifeLink there. So there's facilities there. So again, it's a partnership right across the street that people can walk across the street. So I think as we go through ordinances and update them, those are some things we need to keep in mind.
Okay, we'll move on to the matters from the mayor. As you all know, John Ramon is out of town. He will return shortly. I'm honored to sit in his seat and to take the reins while he's gone out of Espanola. It's been a very taxing week with what is happening with the police department and the situations that they've had to endure in the last few days. It's been a very busy week. Also, I probably attended more than 20 meetings in a week, and to be honest with you, I cannot wait for John to get back. It's been rough, but I love working with you guys. I love the passion that people in City Hall have. We recently sent out the water report that was 4 pages. Unfortunately, the machine that we have at the city only folds for 2 pages. So 4,000 letters to city residents were hand-folded by our staff.
Thank you guys for coming in.
And it was no small feat. I have to recognize the fire department for sending 2 gentlemen out to help us. They brought a lot of laughs, and they were amazing in the work that they do. The staff in the water department is ridiculous, and that they just had at it, and it seemed like the pile was never ending to me, but every time I finished a stack, somebody would have more, and I was like, I just finished. I'm already done. But they got it done, and the water report is out. Everybody will get that in their bill.
That I can't record public service.
The fire department has been very busy also. They've had numerous fires. We had fires here by the bridge, and I think that it was probably held by somebody that threw a cigarette out of a vehicle. So we all need to be cognizant of how dry times are and how the fields are full of weeds. and how that can really turn into a catastrophe in a major way in Bosque with all the dry shrub that's out there. So just, you know, being cognizant of that and understanding how the winds are blowing and how that can get really crazy very fast. We're grateful to Santa Clara also for their collaborative efforts of shutting those fires down. Both times they were in the area, they were able to help our fire department get that under control. Fire could have really been bad. The first one, they got it down to an 80 by 80, so it wasn't bad at all. So we really appreciate the work that they do. Their empty fire department and police department don't even get a chance to eat or to have sit down or to catch their breath. The last few days have been extremely stressful for everybody, and we wish the officers involved in any of the situations that they have a speedy and full spiritual recovery from that situation. We'll go ahead and move on to city manager's report. Mr. Lujan?
Thank you, Madam Pro Tem, councilors. What a last couple 2 weeks, right, Pro Tem?
Wild.
I want to thank you personally, for my directors, the police department, fire department, for all you've done in these last 2 weeks. But that's not just who you are when you're not the acting mayor; it's who you are constantly. You know, we attended the Spanish American symposium sponsored by Senator Ben-Ray Lujan. Myself being the Deputy Consul General to Spain, in my role there, I took the Pro Tem with me and her daughter, and we met with the Spanish ambassador. We met with the Ambassador Romero, who was an ambassador from the United States to Spain under Bill Clinton. We met with Senator Lujan at length. The senators working very hard and very diligently to get the federal funds that we need for Espanola.
The chief is calling
up
employees to come in.
To you, Madam Pro Tem, to the council,
The
that
chief just
Senator
called
Heinrich
his people to come.
However, Senator Lujan said, get it to me, and I'll see what I can do. And by Monday morning,
It's gonna get dirty.
Senator Lujan did get it, he did receive it. I believe Elijah and Mike Adams got it to him. So, fingers crossed. I know Senator Lujan's getting $5 million for some of the other requests that we originally sent to him. But people remember it's an election year. So we got to work to get more money for the projects that we have going on in Espanola. But again, thank you for attending the Police Academy graduation as well. Chief Garcia, I don't know if he brought his new cadets in. We have 2 graduates from the Police Academy. He's in the bathroom. Do you want to speak about it, Lieutenant Yazi? Lieutenant Yazi coordinates the cadets during the Police Academy. He was also with us at the graduation. Just tell us who the cadets were here.
Mayor Pro Tem, City Manager, officers. So we had 2 cadets graduate from the Police Academy last week. We had Officer Andrew O'Hara and James Quintana, who are now both certified, fully certified officers for the state of New Mexico. And they are on patrol and doing well so far. So, and if you remember, Andrew O'Hara is one of our proactive officers that really makes good things happen. So
you're being very light about that, aren't you?
Other than that, we have two more new hires. We have Megan Martinez and a Joel Montalvo, who just started recently, and they're going to be up to speed and doing all the cadet work and getting them ready for the next upcoming academy in February 2025. So, other than that, all right, thank you.
Thank you. And of course, our fire department, Mayor Pro Tem, Deputy Chief Christian waking me up every 2:30 in the morning. But thank you, Chief. And you know the recent incident at Walgreens, I happened to be in Espanola that day with Lolo and Joanne for the Loretta event that they had. I was here, and I was also here for an neighborhood association events, your district and your district, Council Toya. And so I was with the pro tem and chief till almost midnight, Sunday, as we were dealing with that. And again, thank you, pro tem, for your patience and your endurance, and to Chief Garcia for his, coming all the way on his, I don't think we ever get a day off, right, Chief? I mean, John, you either. But thank you. And I wanna, as far as the homeless, I want to thank the counselors that came to see me, that we sat down, we talked. Councilor Rodriguez, Councilor Toya, Councilor Benavides, always Benihan, Councilor Salazar. Councilor Valdez, I want to really applaud you. You came in, you said, Eric, I want to show you something, let's go here. We went to the Hunter building, the old garage where they did the body work and stuff like that, and Elijah was there. I forgot who else we did. Was it you, Pablo, that went with us? You went after, that's right. Esperanza, you were with me. And, that's, and I want to thank you, Councilor Ledoux, for coming forward with the solutions that we're going to need, because this is not going to get any better. What I just recently found out from Powaka PD is that they pulled over a van or a bus coming from Roswell, full of homeless people, transporting them to Espanola. So this is not going to get any better, folks. So we need the solutions that we bring forward are going to be positive and workable solutions. But it's should not just be the burden of Espanola. This burden needs to come to the state too, and this kind of activity needs to stop. Because you don't see us moving people anywhere. It's been suggested as it was at the town hall, but we don't have that kind of those kind of resources. And why would we do that to another community or to plague another community? Bring our problems, anyone else's problems to another community. Homelessness is not a crime. That's always reiterated to me by the chief of police. It's not a crime. But the activity that they do is a crime. But my compassion is still strong and working with them and working with the solutions that we need to bring forward. And that's why I want to thank you, councilors, that you guys came in, you saw me, and Councilor Ledoux, that open door policy stands for everyone. So I like what you're saying tonight. We need to come after more money. And I have Michael Adams working on that constantly. But I have someone more in particular that I just hired that's going to bring a positive impact on this community. Out of 80 applicants that we've gone through over the last 3 months to hire a social service director, we finally settled on someone.
Thank you, Tommy Wood.
And I brought her here this evening, Michelle Ferrer. The lady to the left of her is Desiree. Desiree is amazing with Central. All the guys here, Cisco and Andrea and Cruz and all the staff from Maricopa County Health and Human Services, Dr. Dante's people for always working with the city of Espanola, providing the services that they do to the county and to everyone else in this community. So, Michelle, I'm going to turn the floor over to you real briefly. Introduce yourself, tell the council and Mayor Pro Tem about yourself.
Hello everyone, it's an honor to be here today. I am super proud to come back home. I left to get education and to do things to be able to come back and fulfill my journey, and I feel like I'm finally coming back home. I do have a lot of experience in mental health, working in law enforcement, and really working with the community. And with the years of experience that I have, I'm coming back to bring the heart back. Everyone here has the heart to help everyone, but it's just such a sensitive subject to me that I think, and I agree, why plague other communities when we can help and work off the resources that we already have and build from those resources and become stronger. So that's gonna be my path that I'm gonna take. And I've met with a couple of people already, but I am very, very willing to work with any organization and resources, that we can do to build everything up. So thank you again, everyone, this evening. Thank
Moving forward, Mayor Pro Tem, we recently applied $3 million from the local road initiative from the New Mexico Department of Transportation. So it's working its way through. So it's been 15 years since the city of Espanola applied for these monies. In my application, I had Mr. Mares and Mr. Adams identify 2 major roads that we're going to mill and inlay. It's going to be Coronado on the west side all the way through, and La Jolla all the way through. With $3 million, I think $1 million will go apply to each one, so that's $2 million. I'm anticipating having some leftover monies, and so we can start looking at other roads that we can improve in our community. Those monies are strictly for roads, so we can look at some, some roads, other roads that we could possibly do. And so, our project at 76 has been stalled out by the Pueblo. In a letter to the mayor and myself, they stated clearly that because of litigation that's going on in the federal courts, which has already been resolved, that they will know that they will not work with us to help us improve our roads. So what I did is I turned around and I put this back on the DOT, because the DOT has agreements with Santa Clara, easement and agreements and right-of-way agreements established with the Pueblos. So this should be an issue with them since this is a state project. I turn it back on them and I haven't heard anything back. But this is a state road and this is a state project, and they are. Thank you all guys for coming in. I appreciate it. So they need to step in now, because declining something, as our city attorney Calista has pretty much been settled, and as the council has been made well aware of, should not hold us back because of this. We have great working agreements with Okiaringa, but not very positive ones with Santa Clara, but we can improve. For whatever reasons, we seem to get into battles over properties, right-of-ways, buying of properties that are within the community themselves. We get into bidding wars with them, as we are right now with the Henry Valencia building. So we just gotta take the high road and always stay positive and work with getting more funding for the community. But I will put up my police department and fire department against anyone in the state of New Mexico, and we will rank right there because we compete. I'm just so proud of you guys all the way around. Every time, and just what you, Pablo and John, what you guys do down at the encampment, just amazing. I mean, to be down and always helping in the positive impact that you've had on the homeless of our city, and then specifically our encampment, and always being there when I pick up that phone, right? When I need something done, it gets done. And Chief Garcia, for your patience and for always being alert and always being attentive to when we need something done as well, and always keeping us in the loop with incidents that are going on in our city and protecting our city at the risks, the risks that you and your officers take, as it was already stated. But I'm always, Chief, I mean, we meet every morning with Chief Martinez as well, with Elijah, and with Jeff Sargent. And I would be probably slapped across the head if I forgot this lady to my left here. You guys, we really gotta give our hands off to Ipo Moya and Marla and the finance staff for the budgets that we went through and getting everything done on time. She kept us in check. I know my directors, and I know the chiefs, you guys get very, very frustrated, but she does her job and she keeps us balanced and she keeps us in check with everything. I mean, she's got it rolling the way she wants it, and I give her the leeway to run her division the way she needs to be run. But from the bottom of my heart, thank you, April. And to answer Councilor Salazar Torres, the foundation for the training facility in industrial is going back to procurement, and will be, I believe, if you can it's gonna be sent right back out for advertisement. And that's already in the process.
It's going out for advertising next Wednesday.
What is the deadline on that?
10 days from Wednesday.
10 days from now.
Actually, I take that back, that one's on Friday for
And,
that
next,
following Monday.
next, Thursday, the 20th, June 20th, a special planning commission meeting, and that planning commission meeting is centered on, the land grant and the GM emulsion. And so we invite the public to that as well, and those that are being affected by that. I've been working very closely with Councilor Rodriguez with this issue. I've kept all the council in the loop on this. Councilor Salazar has often meeting with me about this. And I know Councilor Rodriguez and I have been, like I said, very closely working with this. And then thank you, Councilor, and thank you for your patience. I just want to get it resolved as I refereed so many of the disputes between the land grant and the residents and GM emulsion and everything else that happens on the west side of the town where this is located. So now, I know I do have the authority as a city manager to pull a special use permit, but I want the guidelines set forth and spoken to by the planning commission, since they set the standard way before I got here. And so we'll take it back to them and see how we can resolve these issues, and always, hopefully, in the best interest of the people of this country. And with that, Madam Mayor Pro Tem, I conclude my report.
Thank you, Mr. Mahan. There's a lot going on in the city of Espanola, Cali, the plan for the park in Fairview, the stuff that has happened, public safety, meetings with Santa Fe County, 911 met with Santa Fe County yesterday. We're hopeful that something productive comes out of that. Just a lot of stuff. It's overwhelming at times, to be honest with you. Councilor Rodriguez.
I just wanted to thank you, CM, for the work that you do, for keeping us posted and updated in our districts. But I do want to follow up on the procurement process that happened with the first bid that we received for the fire foundation. Why did we go out to bid again? What's the reasoning for that?
Madam Mayor Pro Tem, due to confidentiality and possible litigation,
Esperanza, the city attorney, just left. What up, Direct D? Thanks for being here, you guys. Appreciate you guys.
CM, can you tell us more about the Roswell truck incident? Do we know what entity sent those folks? Do we have any information that we can discuss?
Madam Mayor Pro Tem, Mr. Ledoux, there was actually two buses. The second bus coming in was stopped. And all I know is, what I'm trying to get, I met with the chief is on this. I met with Sheriff Billy Airfield today. They're meeting with the chief of police, Freddie Trujillo from Huaca Pueblo, who made the stop. I want to know if this was a city vehicle that was transporting them from Roswell. That way I can have a discussion with the city manager from Roswell, and the mayor can have a discussion with Mayor Jennings from Roswell. And I'm not sure.
Are they right there?
City senior bus. Something similar to that is what I was picturing, but as nothing has been yet, I know that the sheriff and the chief will work with Freddie to get us exactly what it is, and so that we can, we reach out to these communities. I mean, just because we found out because they got pulled over. And for whatever the infraction was, speeding, broken tail light, whatever the infraction was. But that is horrible. Not even, to tell us, hey, we're taking these people up there, you know. I know that Albuquerque does it to Santa Fe, Santa Fe probably does it to us. And this is not exclusive just to Espanola. I'm sure that there's buses going up to Taos, Farmington, Silver City, they've got an influx of us, and, Mike Adams and I had a meeting with the governor and the lieutenant governor Friday. And what do we do? You know, I raised a serious complaint that, you know, what our budget situation is and what we have to do with our police department to the governor and said, where's the help that we need? You know, you're distributing money statewide. I raised this concern with her homeless czar when I told her, you had $16 million and we didn't get a dime. And we were in line, just like every other community. Why did Santa Fe and Albuquerque take the bulk of it? We have the same problems here. You know, it's very frustrating. And so it's always looking for those solutions. So, you know, opening up the doors, you know, they are planning a visit to Espanola. So we'll know that to see where we're at, what we need, because the meeting was more focused, supposed to be more focused. Of course, I went off and said, hey, I went off on a tangent. These are other issues that we have. Other than we have requested a letter to bring the aviation company from Texas here, and that would be one of the purposes so that we have getting more funding to purchase the Valencia building right after we get the appraisal, and moving forward with the purchase of it. That, of course, being your guys' call on that. But that's all it was. And they wanted to know about more of the aviation company, where they're also located, how big they are, blah, blah, blah. And Mike was able to answer all those questions. But then I turned the table and said, when they said, is there anything else you'd like to discuss? Guess what? There is. And that's when I said, hey, look, here's where I'm at with this, this, and this. So they're coming to Espanola, and they're going to set a date. And we're going to really say, this is what's going on in this community. And it gets frustrating because we are a diamond in the rough. And there's just so much that we can do in this community, so much that we can bring to it. And the biggest thing is everyone knows we're trying to get Costco here. We're trying to get Sprouts. We're trying to get, we have a meeting, I believe Thursday with Hobby Lobby. And I recently got the property there on across from Walmart. So we're looking at these things to bring up our GRTs, and that's why I say our GRTs are depleting. And part of that is because when you have casinos, Native American casinos, and Native American properties with businesses on them, we do not get those GRTs. So we're fighting to establish ourselves, to bring businesses in, to create more GRTs for our community. So I have a bigger than a $14 million budget, but I'm back to where it was 20 years ago at 40 million. In that ballpark, so we can pay those salaries that La Salle and Santa Fe areas pay. You know, when you look at it, you look at the front page of New Mexican, you see the city of Santa Fe passes a $440 million budget, and the state's still running their finances. We need to grab those. We need to be the center of the hub that's between Taos and Santa Fe. And all the vehicles that the Pro Tem always alludes to that come through, the travelers that come through this community, and we need to be able to get those GRTs back for this city. And that it's going to take a lot of work, but you know, you got to crawl before you walk. I know the mayor gets mad when I say that, but I think we're beyond the crawling now.
I think you're working in a lot of different areas. Mr. Moore, are you good?
One more.
Go ahead.
Something else.
Go ahead, I'll let you follow.
Okay, I also wanted to know, with the special session coming up, do we have any plans on pushing any public safety initiatives or trying to get monies for our public safety programs? Because it's coming up really quickly, and I think we need to take advantage of it. This is one of the few times where they're like, we have money, we want to spend it on public safety, and this is the time that we need to go after it.
Madam Mayor, Pro Tem Council, I don't believe the governor put a fiscal and FIR in this special session. This is just to basically her way of tightening up the courts and the criminal area, like, you know, probably more financing for prisons. But there's nothing in there, and Chief, you could correct me if I'm wrong, but you sit on one of the governor's appointed boards. This is not a fiscal special session.
What about for a jail?
For a jail for the city of Espanola? I'm working on that as well. And then Pro Tem and I discussed with Senator Lujan that.
I talked to Benny Lujan about that initiative. The city of Espanola currently owns the jail that is in the building over here. I would like to see us invest at least the money that it would take for a structural engineer to look at that and see if it is doable or if it's beyond its usage, and if it is, then we need to address that. But that's somewhere to start at least. I think it's important. I'd also like to yield the floor to Chief Garcia to talk about the meetings that we've had concerning the commercial side of things. You want to address that, please?
Madam Pro Tem, councilors, governing body, city manager. As you know, when I first came over to Espanola, I had 3 projects that I wanted to implement. One of them was our business coalition, which has really, really exploded, and in a good way. The communication, we just recently had an operation here in the Fairview corridor to include Walgreens. Actually, the loss prevention person in charge at Walgreens is the president of the business coalition. The thing about that is that I'm not in charge of that. I started it, but I'm out. It should be a community relationship. But we recently had an event here in Espanola, 2-day, resulting in 20 arrests for shoplifting. We utilized the attorney, well, it's not the Attorney General's office, it's the Department of Justice agents. And we did a great job with that. It was great to work with another agency, especially a state agency. Just now I was asking for assistance from some of the gentlemen that are here videotaping our meeting, that we're gonna put a Crime Stoppers out there, a bulletin on this bike, and we're gonna spread it throughout the state, because more likely than not, unfortunately, that bike's not here in Espanola anymore. I wish it still was. We were following up on some leads, but I would say that it's already out of the city and in Albuquerque. So we're using our Crime Stoppers for that utilization to help us. I've always said that if it were up to me, I'd want 45, 50 officers here in the city of Espanola. But we all know that's not feasible. But with that, we can take advantage of the relationships that we have. And we have with Crime Stoppers, with our business coalition, and our neighborhood associations have really, really stepped up. So it's a team effort. I've told you all, it's community policing, it's what it is. And in Espanola, we are trying to take advantage of that. We're doing our best to ensure that we maximize the resources that we do have. Rather than saying that I don't have this, we're gonna do the best we can with what we have and go forward. I understand that Councilor Ledoux, I thought the same thing, that maybe during the special session, but it's gonna be more for the advanced outpatient treatment is what they're really prioritizing. They're also dealing with mental health portion of, I believe I spoke during the session on, it was almost like the red flag for mental health. So I kind of know what the topics are on that. So I also thought of that, thought maybe we could get something out of that, but we're already working on next year's session. We welcome input from everybody, not only from our community, from city councilors, like the manager says, we meet constantly about different issues facing our community. The Public Safety Committee is chaired by Mayor Pro Tem. I would invite all of you, if you want to know what's going on in the public safety side, please. We give reports, code enforcement, the fire department, my department, we give monthly reports on everything that goes on in our departments. So one thing about us, we will share, I mean, we'll give our card and our phone number, but thank you, Mayor Pro Tem, for the opportunity, because we are trying. These last 3 days have been harrowing because we've been busy. I also have now 2 or 3 officers who are off the street because they're on standard leave. They have to be taken care of both physically and mentally. But that doesn't mean that our city's not covered. We're still out there. As you saw, one of my officers left. I want even my command staff, because one day they're going to be in a position like this, and they need to understand how to interact with you all, how to do it. Mentoring is very important to me, and I appreciate when the lieutenants and when officers come to see this. But with that being said, I sit here before you now for any questions that you may have in reference to our comments.
Madam Mayor Pro Tem,
comments or comments, not any questions.
I don't think we're gonna question you publicly. If anybody has any concerns that you wanna reach out to him on, please feel free to email him your concerns and he can do it like that. Or you can go through Eric and he can get you an answer on whatever you're concerned with. Right.
Like that, thank you.
Thank you
Governing
for
Body.
that, we appreciate it. The Business Coalition, I was able to sit in on that meeting. It was an incredible meeting because the information that the businesses are sharing between each other is just tremendously beneficial to the city of Espanola and the police department. One of the best things that I heard at that meeting dealt with the fact that the DA's office was there and they talked about the new law on egregious shoplifting where the city can compile a case against somebody and turn those shoplifting charges into a felony charge instead of a misdemeanor. And the beauty of that is that that's a much serious charge, and it seems like the city of Espanola already put together 2 of these egregious charges, and the DA was very grateful that they had done a good job with it. They photographed everything, documented everything, and he was very pleased with it. The other thing that he shared with the whole group is that this roundabout law where judges are mandated to provide release to prisoners who don't seem to be a danger to themselves or to the community are coming out and reoffending, and he was very assertive in stating that the city of Espanola does not need to deal with that they can actually contact his office when there's reoffending people that are out on their own recognizance. So that was very interesting in that it's possible that we might be able to stop people from going on the roundabout round and round from jail and back and from jail and back. It's unfortunate that that law is in place because the officers are working so diligently in arresting these people. It's so difficult because they have to receive a medical clearance from the hospital, so it takes them off the street to go get that medical clearance. And then they take them into transport, and then transport takes them to Tierra Maria. There are times when Tierra Maria will welcome them, and there are times when Tierra Maria will send them back because the medical clearance is more than 4 hours old or some crazy thing. So we need to work with our neighboring governing bodies, Santa Fe, County Santa Fe, Unions. Please put a word in that we need to be allowed to use that jail. We are desperate to utilize that jail. They're not allowing anybody who's drug addicted in that jail from us because the risk is high. I don't know who's in jail that's not drug addicted. I just don't. It's a fact. That's the way the world is today. So, you know, if you could do a little bit with that situation. But all in all, I will say that the police department and the fire department are doing every single thing that they can to keep this community as safe as possible. And I certainly appreciate their efforts. With that said, I'm going to go ahead and move on to action items. First item is approval of professional service agreement with Roberto Apodaca doing business as RAM Advisory Group LLC. An authorization for the city manager Lujan to sign a contract with him. It's presented by April and Mr. Dale.
No, like another 30 minutes. Like another 30 minutes.
No, my apologies. Hope everybody heard that.
Yes.
So this is a professional service agreement with Robert Apodaca. He's been a contractor here in the past. This was actually put on the agenda in error. So I'm still gonna go through it because it's already on there, but it was.
It actually wasn't put in error. I looked at it and I just found that it's important for the council to understand what Mr. Apodaca is going to be doing for the city, and it was really in an effort so that all of you will be understanding. The 20,000 is under the threshold that Eric requires permission from the city council to move forward, but I felt that it was important that you guys understand what this is about and what we're trying to accomplish with this $20,000. Thank you, April. Sure. Okay.
So it is a $20,000 contract, professional services agreement for RMA Advisory Group to provide consultant services to the city. They will be working with the City of Espanola to identify the infrastructure priorities for the FY 2024 legislative session. He'll also be working with the City of Espanola to administer projects in need of execution as identified by City Manager, and will be coordinating with the City of Espanola and other state agencies and contractors to execute the capital projects for implementation within the city. And he'll also be assisting the city on administration of community development block grant projects. And he will continue to coordinate with the city in the development of the infrastructure capital improvement plan for the FY 2024 priorities. So that is the bulk of that. That contract is there. If you haven't had a chance to review it and review the scope of work in a little bit more detail. Compensation again is not to exceed 20,000, and it's a 1-year contract.
Cancelable by 10 days by either party. Motion to approve.
Thank you guys for showing up. I appreciate it. You guys.
Motion by Councilor Benavides to approve the contract for RMA.
Thank you guys.
Consultant.
Much love and
RMA
respect.
consultant at an amount of $20,000. Second by Councilor Aaron Salazar. Under discussion, do we have any questions? Councilor Ledoux.
I would like to know why you chose to go with Mr. Apodaca. It's just, is there an existing relationship?
Yes.
Is,
Yeah, he just worked with
okay, 'cause I was just curious. Because,
So prior to my arrival, he was already on a contract and was providing services to the city, and then I believe that stopped because he had to do some stuff with legislative session, and the intention was for him to come back and complete the work he was doing.
and then just for clarification, the FY 2024 legislative session, that's the 2025 legislative session,
Mhm.
correct?
Yes.
So it's not the interim session or something like that?
Can that be?
Madam Mayor Pro Tem.
Because it does.
That-
Is it set on
Yeah,
the contract?
I think so. Mr. Lamont?
But as we know, the interim committees are meeting constantly, and Mr. Apodaca really focuses on the Legislative Finance Committee, LFC, and of course,
Have you guys watched The Simpsons?
as well.
This guy
So
right
those are the
here
concerns with us. Mr.
looks like
Apodaca's been
Mr.
a professional
Burns.
lobbyist for a long time. He's a
This guy
former
looks like
director
Mr.
of local
Burns
government for the state
from The
of Mexico,
Simpsons.
Governor Richardson. He served
And this one, her name is
under
Miss
President
Piggy.
Obama's administration.
That's Miss Piggy.
And also the budget, and so, you know, the guy brings a wealth of experience, and you're working with him very closely, and with him not even being paid, and him still assisting us in different areas.
I think it's a worthy investment for what Mr. Apodaca can do for us as a state level.
I appreciate every single one of you.
Are incredible, and like you state, he does have a wealth of information, and he does have a history with the city of Espanola and has helped us in the past. So I've been very pleased with what he's been able to produce, so I'm grateful that he's willing to come back and continue what he's doing to work with us.
They're passing notes, bro.
Any other
James, they're
comments
passing
or
each other's notes.
Anything? Hearing none, we'll call for a roll call vote, please.
Counselor Felicia Archuleta Toya.
In favor.
Counselor Aaron Salazar.
In favor?
Counselor Denise Benavides.
In favor.
Counselor Justin Salazar Torres.
In favor.
Counselor Pedro Valdez. Counselor Nanette Rodriguez. Counselor Samuel Ledoux.
In favor.
Mayor Pro Tem Peggy Sue Martinez.
In favor, we have a unanimous contract. Moving on to item B, approval of resolution 2024-21, a resolution approving the budget adjustment request in the amount of $25,000, increasing revenues and expenditures to provide funding to the Espanola Public Library as provided by the memorandum of understanding between Santa Fe County and the city of Espanola to be utilized by the Espanola Public Library, presented by librarian Sherry Aragon and finance director April Moya. Thank you, Ms. Aragon.
Good evening, Madam receiving from the funding that we're receiving from Santa Fe County, and they usually give us 50,000, and that is broken up, and we received 25,000 last year, and this is the remainder of the 25,000 that we received this year.
Do I hear a motion for approval?
Motion to approve.
Thank you. Do I hear a second? Motion made by Councilor Justin Torres Salazar, second by Councilor Denise. Any comments or concerns? Councilor Adu?
I just want, for clarification, it says for the FY 23-24, is this the interim budget or is this the 23 budget we're currently working on? I mean, we're working off of. I just, want clarification.
No, thank you, Counselor. This was actually funding that already came in that needs to be spent ended in this fiscal year.
So FY 23?
It's awarded in 24, not 23.
Okay.
Yes, correct, 24.
Second half of the fiscal
Yes.
year, right?
Yes,
And it has to be spent by the end of this fiscal year?
correct.
You guys better get on it.
You were working on it.
You better get on it.
Working on it.
Anything else? We have a roll call vote, please.
Counselor Pedro Valdez. Yes. Counselor Justin Salazar Torres.
In favor.
Counselor Aaron Salazar.
In favor?
Counselor Felicia Archuleta Toya.
In favor.
Counselor Nanette Rodriguez. Counselor Samuel Adu.
In favor?
Counselor Denise Benavides.
In favor.
Mayor Pro Tem Peggy Sue Martinez.
Also in favor, it's unanimous, and we'll accept that cash. Spend it. We'll move on to item C, approval of resolution 2024-24, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Espanola approving a budget adjustment requesting increasing revenues and expenditures for the Espanola Public Library state grants in aid in the amount of $10,352.38, presented by Librarian Sherry Aragon and Finance Director April Moya.
Thank you. This grant comes to us from the New Mexico State Library, and as we do our final report in July, it's usually July through August, so once we get all our numbers in from that, and this is where we get the funding from this. Each library, once they put in their reports, is giving a certain amount, depending on how much they spent the year before.
Nice. Do I hear-
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Councilor Torres, for your motion. Thank you, Councilor Nanette Rodriguez Martinez, for a second. Any concerns or questions concerning this month? Hearing none, I'll call for a roll call vote. I'll yield the vote to concern from Councilor Ledoux.
I'm just curious what you plan to spend the money on.
This money, we're going to probably purchase some more children's computers, and it's going to also go to new books that we're receiving also, that we've gotten some new requests for newer material. So that's where this is going.
Thank you.
Anything else, Councilor? Hearing none, we'll call for a roll call vote.
Counselor Nanette Rodriguez. Counselor Aaron Salazar.
In favor?
Counselor Felicia Archuleta Toya.
In favor.
Counselor Justin Salazar Torres.
In favor.
Counselor Samuel Adu.
In favor?
Counselor Pedro Valdez.
Yes.
Counselor Denise Benavides.
In favor.
Mayor Pro Tem Peggy Sue Martinez.
Also in favor. Thank you very much. Thank you for your time, both of you. We appreciate you. Item D, approval of resolution 2024-23, authorizing the execution and delivery of loan agreement and an intercept agreement by and between the City of Espanola, the governmental unit, and the New Mexico Finance Authority, the Finance Authority. Evidence of a special limited obligation governmental unit to pay the principal amount of $870,881.20, together with interest therein, for the purchase of purchasing a new fire truck apparatus related to the equipment for the City of Espanola, New Mexico, and funding a loan agreement reserve account providing for the pledge and payment of the principal and interest due under the loan agreement solely from the revenues of the first and second 1/4 and 1% increments of municipal local option gross receipt tax imposed pursuant to 7-19D-9 NMSA 1978 as amended and distributed to the governmental unit by the Taxation and Revenue Department, providing for the distribution of the New Mexico local option gross receipt tax to be redirected by the state taxation and revenue department to finance authority or its assigns for the payment of principal and interest due on the loan agreement pursuant to the intercept agreement, approving the form and terms and other details concerning this loan agreement with the intercept agreement, settling in the maximum interest rate for the loan, ratifying the actions heretofore taken, repealing all actions inconsistent with this resolution, and authorizing the taking of other actions in connection with this executive and delivery of the loan agreement and intercept. Presented by Fire Chief Johnny Martinez, Assistant Fire Chief John Wickersham, and Finance Director April Hall.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. So again, you've read the very lengthy description from the resolution. So as you all know, it was approved to purchase a new fire apparatus, and this is the final loan documentation to do the closing. So this is just the
Motion to approve.
final approval.
We have a motion by Councilor Justin Salazar Torres and a second by Councilor Ledoux and Councilor Lynette Rodriguez. Go ahead and give me some more details.
So Mayor Pro Tem, councilors.
It's almost over. It's almost over.
We want to thank the finance department for always working with us. This is a lengthy process on anything we bring to them, so we want to thank them. This is for a new apparatus that we want to purchase. It was already approved a couple of meetings ago, I think, for a Pierce truck. It'll be it'll be our first out truck once we get it. It'll be a sister truck to the one that we have. It'll exactly mirror that one, but it'll be brand new. They're 3 years out, so we won't get it until 2026. But we will start paying right away. And so that's why we wanted to bring the sale of one of our older apparatus to council to try to get that truck sold so we can make a principal payment or have that money that we can put towards this truck as well. As you know, it's pretty expensive. It's $1.1 million. But we want to thank the council for investing in the fire department and always having our back, because we really appreciate this. This is a truck that is desperately needed with our aging fleet. So we want to thank the council for approving this.
So we have a motion and 2 seconds on the floor. Any discussion or any concerns? Councilor Ledoux.
I'd like to thank John Wickersham for all his hard work, as well as Chief Martinez. They're breaking their backs every day to get what the fire department needs, and it's truly appreciated. You know, I know sometimes the process can be frustrating, and you know, I've been there. I've been a bureaucrat. I know how it can be. You work on something for hours and for weeks and weeks and weeks, and then all of a sudden it's thrown away, and you have to start all over again.
Yeah.
So I understand the frustration, especially when it comes to emergency management. As you know, I used to work for FEMA, so I understand how little things can just destroy everything. So thank you for putting in the hard work, so the extra hours to get it done, and let's move forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Ledoux. And I just want to thank Pablo Montoya, our fire marshal. He put a lot of work into this. He's our fleet manager, so he puts a lot of hours into making sure that apparatus is ready to go. Unfortunately, we've had 3 tires with bolts in them the last couple of weeks, so we don't know if that's something that's intentional or what. Well, we're looking into that, but that's just something that he deals with on top of everything else he deals with. He does our fleet maintenance and projects like this, working with the finance department to come to council to purchase this truck. So he's put a lot of effort into purchasing this truck. working with Cedar Martins to purchase this truck and then to sell the other one. So we hope that we can bring that to council.
Come back as soon as we notify the state according to the procurement disposition of issue. It takes 30 days before the council can actually dispose of it. So we have to follow the law.
Perfect.
It's unfortunate that we get ourselves.
And that's the fire department. We're gung ho. We want to get things
So
done.
so it's just frustrating. Believe me, but at the end of the day, law trumps everything.
And finance has to put up with us because we're always bugging her too. Where are we at with this? Why isn't this done yet? So we want to thank the finance department, Marla, Marissa, Emma, all the ladies in finance. They deal with us and deal with me on a daily basis.
I want you to know that I'm giving you our word that it's coming.
I know you will.
I want to ask you concerning, once we get the truck and it needs all the apparatus that goes on it, what's the plan for that?
So the $1.1 million does include the equipment. So that's going to come. Yep, it'll come fully with whatever NFPA requires on that truck. It'll be on the truck.
And
ready
will
to
it
rock and
be
roll.
delivered to our community or we have to go get it?
It'll be delivered here.
It'll be delivered?
Yep.
They'll bring it on a semi?
They usually drive them out here, but they yeah. So it already comes with a few miles on it.
I like how she said our truck.
Copper roll call vote, ma'am. Did you have anything?
It's a people's truck.
I have a contract in front of me. How much is the principal payment? Or the payments?
They're $80,000 a year.
Thank you guys for all your hard work. Thank finance department and thank you guys. You guys are amazing. You know what I think about your department. You guys are just incredible. What you do for our community is beyond even me even saying thank you. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Go ahead.
Councilor Pedro Valdez.
Yes.
Councilor Justin Salazar Torres. Councilor Denise Benavides. Councilor Felicia Archuleta Toya. Councilor Samuel Adu.
Completely in favor.
Councilor Aaron Salazar.
In favor.
Councilor Nanette Rodriguez. Councilor Justin Salazar Torres.
In favor.
Mayor Pro Tem Peggy Sue Martinez.
It's unanimous. We got a new fire truck coming. Is there any other business to come before this body? None. Being none, I hereby adjourn this day.
Here we go, James. Here we go, James. Here we go. Charles, when you made that rule regarding me recording employees, what did you mean by that?
Get that out of my face, right now.
Or else what?
Right now.
You're a public employee. You're a public servant. You're not.
I'll be calling your attorney when I'm here.
Okay, Zach already knows about it. Zach already knows. That rule, you know these are public servants, right? We'll see you in court. We'll see you. Are you threatening me with that? Are you threatening me? I can let the cops know. Are you threatening me with that? Don't you work for the city of Espanola? Aren't you paid, contracted through the city of Espanola by tax dollars? I know Zach quite well too. So don't do that anymore. Don't threaten people. Don't threaten people. Don't threaten people like that. I don't have to leave. It's a public building. It's a public building. I just got to get it on record so I can send it to Zach. So Zach can know about it. So I can be on record. Peggy, I would like to know the rule that Charles made. Why were you going by what he said? You're a public servant. Follow. I just want to know why you made that remark, Peggy. My attorney wants to know why you made that ruling. Why did you make that ruling? Why did you rule on what Charles said? Here you go, Zach. Here's Charles Rennick threatening me, stating for me to get my camera out of his face and that he will call you.
I'm sorry, that was not intentional. That was not intentional, I'm sorry, man.
Thanks for the content.
Again, sorry, it was not intentional.
Hey, everybody in here, thank you guys so much. I appreciate every single one of you for coming in. James, thank you for coming. I appreciate you. Thank you for every single one of you. Got threatened by the city attorney if I don't get the camera out of his face. I don't know why, but he's a big man to speak.
He's absurd.
But let me fix this real fast. Sorry, guys.
Shit, trying to find it. Mexican Free Press.
Yeah, Mexican Free Press. That's who I am.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yeah, I was wondering.
Steven.
Ben.
Nice to meet you, brother.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah. Let me end this live and we'll talk real quick.
Oh, sorry.
Every single one of you guys, thank you guys for stopping in, coming in. Appreciate the support. James Freeman and Cap. You guys, every single one of you guys, thank you for stopping in. I didn't get arrested, but they're afraid that I can't record public servants and of course of their duties at a city council meeting. So I appreciate every single one of you guys stopping in. I appreciate it. You guys have a good evening. Thank you. You guys all witnessed Charles Rennick, the city attorney, contracted city attorney, threatening me. So thank you. Until next time, guys. You guys have a good evening. Appreciate you guys. Much love. Later, guys.